Righto, transporter's on its way in. KILLA B's on the way back from the panel shop. Let's get it all unloaded and we'll be one step closer to Indianapolis.
So Steve's rolled in with KILLA B. He's had a couple of repairs done to the corners. Give us a quick rundown of where it's at now, mate.
So yeah, thanks to ITA Panels, they sort of banged it out in a few days for me. We've repainted both quarters, put new side skirts on it. They've been touched up as well. Obviously the bar's still a bit shabby, so we'll sort that out when we get over to the States. We'll buy a new one and get it matched up with the rest of the car. But yeah, she's looking $1 million, ready for smashing tyres again.
So Steve's actually wondering where the transporter is, and he's thinking, what's the container doing? He goes, oh, did you get a shipment in from the US? We said, nah, there's a bit of a change of plan here. So maybe the genius over here who was going to take the rod shop transporter there has had a miscue. So fill us in, where's the transporter, why have we got a container?
Well, there's a couple of reasons behind this. One, I want to keep the transporter here in case we don't make it back for summer nats, so that's reason number one. Reason number two is I've looked into it. The American roads authorities over there, they run different braking systems on their trailer and different lighting systems. Now, if it went there, we'd have to change the braking system, change the lighting system, and I think I've run out of pennies, so I can't afford to do that as well. So, but on the other hand, there's $1 million transporters over there, so it looks like I may have teed one up. I'm not going to guarantee anything here because it's already bit me once. So we're going to maybe load it in the container. Me and Steve are on the bottom. I hate to break the news to you, the trainer's going on top. So to get it to fit 3 cars in there, we'll have to make a little bit of pallet racking. When we get over there, then we get our transporter back.
Perfect.
What's the issue?
Genius plan number 2.
Tick.
You did say about replacing the rear bar over there.
Yep.
He just mentioned the trailer's going to be on top of the Falcon. We don't really give a rat's ass about the Warbird, but KILLA B here, you may need a few spares if our racking doesn't hold up and little real deal drops down. So
no, we'll be right.
You're good, you reckon?
Yeah,
confident?
No, we'll be right. I'm sure that we can get a bit of a roof happening over in the States if it turns into a convertible.
9-inch grinder.
Yeah, exactly right. Should be right. We'll just have to do skids with the breeze in our hair.
All right, before it goes too much further,
what's left of
it? I'll tell you what. I'll take you in the container. I'll give you a little idea what we're thinking, and then you just can stay tuned to see what happens. So come for a walk in the container. Now, obviously being at the rod shop, there's been a lot of cars going in and out of the country and everything else has happened over the years. So a long time ago, I made some racking and it's done 2 or 3 trips around the world. So it is holding together, it's a bit rough. Now, most of it's in the spray booth now getting painted, but my idea is Warbird up the front, piece Toronto in the middle up a bit higher over the back of my boot, then we'll back KILLA B underneath. So now your rear bar's already damaged.
Exactly right. So what's another boot lid and a rear window and maybe back half of the roof, that's all right.
Yeah, well look, when you lay a burn out, you've got to put new tyres on anyway.
Exactly.
You sit at the front, your engine's at the front. It's not that big a deal, is it?
It's where all the money's up the front, so the back of it's the least of our problems.
Yeah, so I'd say the genius idea of container to a transporter is way cooler than just the same old transporter.
Exactly right. No, I think it'll work well. So yeah, we'll get all the racking in and measure up the cars, and I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a great idea. Righto guys, so what we're in the process of doing now is trying to get all the methanol out of the fuel system. We've just drained the header tank, we've ran it out of fuel out of the barrel valve, we've put a little bit of fuel, just unleaded petrol down the hat just before it shut down. So now we're just going to spray some CRC just to get some CRC into the cylinders, all through the runners, everywhere inside the fuel system, just so while it's on the boat, salt air doesn't start to corrode for the next month at sea.
Righto, so Warbird is locked and loaded, pole position to go into the container. Now, for any transportation, we must remove all the methanol, so fuels must be removed. Also, on the upside, when we get there, we get to put a fresh batch in. So, what we need to do is hook the battery up. Now, we've got our large fuel cell here. We've got our fuel pump. Now, the fuel pump, it feeds a fuel tank, a header tank in the engine bay. So, we come up and have a look up here at the engine. Here's our header tank, so we're going to siphon the fuel out of the front here. Obviously drain off the mechanical pump into the engine if we need it. So what we'll do, it's on a circulation system. So if we fire the rear pump up, it'll pump the header tank up to here and then just circulate back. So if we just keep siphoning here till the pump kicks in, runs out of fuel, we know we've got everything out of the rear, get what we can out of the front, drop the bottom hose, get the last couple of dribbles out, and then we're ready. Just let it fill right up, maybe if you want. Alright, so the real deal runs the same fuel system as the Warbird. So all we need to do, jiggle out of the header tank. It's a little bit of a different shape, but same theory, same setup. So we'll jiggle out the front here with the rear pump running to keep the fuel pressurised to the front, fill up our drums, then we've got some, then we've got a safe car for travel. Alright, so the Warbird, the fuel's out of it. All we need to do now is just crank it a couple of times, put a bit of fuel in the methanol system, same as Steve. Then we'll run a bit of CRC, so we'll oil up all the cylinders, make sure it's all good to keep the salt water out. So a couple of quick cranks, disconnect the battery, take the battery terminals up, then we're ready to go in. Righto, so we're just getting wheels and tyres, everything ready for the container. The 3 cars are ready for the container, so we're not too far away. In the next episode, we're going to show you guys loading the 3 cars, getting the spares, everything else. There's a fair bit of work still to go into it, obviously. So I did have a couple of people comment and ask, are you only going over there to put your cars on display and a couple of demos? Now, we're not just going for demos. We're not cutting our cars the other side of the world just to do you guys a few demos. When I get to Indianapolis, I plan to have my thing singing 7.2, 7.4, 7.6, so the thing's going to be revving. So let's make sure that new no-gas performance engine holds together. Now I'm sure the other 2, they're not going to stuff around either. They're going to try and win the 100 off me that we already spoke about. Cletus is on the grab there too, so we're not letting you Americans take our money. So stay tuned, plenty more to come. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, see you again soon.